we continue to read the case of Horace Richards versus Geraldine Ramsay-Facey, where they're battling for ownership of land that was left by deceased Horace Ramsay's stepfather. The defendant's case. So this is Geraldine Ramsay-Facey's case now. It was Mrs. Ramsay-Facey's evidence that she made an application for a grant of letters of administration, as her brother had made no provision for the disposal of his estate, and she felt compelled to act in this regard as over 5 years had passed since his death. Okay. So in that case, Mrs. Ramsay-Facey is the brother of the deceased. She denied that he owned the property at Herring Lane and insisted that he had been given permission by their father, Percival Ramsay, to reside there after he had fallen on hard times and had no place of his own. So you see, this is passing down of words, without document. She stated that her brother had never owned any property. So her father, is Percival Ramsay. She is the daughter of Percival Ramsay. And the deceased is the son of Percival Ramsay. She stated that her brother, that's the deceased, had never owned any property and had to be assisted by her and their father, as his earnings were meager. So she's saying that she financially helped him. She stated that she had shared a close relationship with her brother and his widow, and both would have advised her if a will existed. So she's saying that this so-called will was fraudulent because she knew that he would have told her that he was making a will. She refuted the existence of any testamentary document and asserted that her brother had suffered cerebral hemorrhage as well as a stroke and would have been deprived of the cognitive and physical ability to make any such document. So cerebral hemorrhage, that would be bleeding in the brain. So she's saying that he got sick and was not in his right mind. So that will, that so-called will, as she would want to have it, really did not exist. No proper will could have been made. Alright. Mrs. Ramsay-Facey insisted that the property at Herring Lane had always been the family home for the offsprings of Percival Ramsay, as a result of which she would stay there from time to time. She said that Mr. Richards, that's the person making the claim, would have been aware of her application for the grant of letters of administration as a representative from LAMP. Not sure what that is. Would have made contact with him in his capacity as a resident on the property. But Mr. Richard was saying that he was not aware of any letter of administration. But Mrs. Ramsay-Facey is saying that he would have been aware. So that would have been a lie. She insisted that the claimant, that Mr. Richard, never mentioned a will and had even indicated that he had no interest in the property. So she's saying that Mr. Richard acknowledged that he would not have any interest in the property and didn't tell her of a will. It's interesting. Her evidence was supported by that of her niece, Doreen Martin, the daughter of her sister, who stated that no will could have been made without her knowledge, as she had been the main caregiver for the deceased. So Doreen Martin was taking care of the deceased before he passed. She denied that the attesting witness had ever attended the home for the purpose of signing the same, and she insisted that the deceased never traveled outside of his home without her being present. She stated that the claimant, Mr. Horace Richards, had never been treated as a son by the deceased, and explained his residence at the property as being pursuant to permission granted to him by her aunt, that's his mother, granting him permission to stay there. Miss Martin, that's Doreen Martin, insisted that she had been informed by Percival, that would be her grandfather, right? Percival Ramsay, her grandfather. She was informed by him that he had purchased the property at Herring Lane. Informed by him, but where are the documents showing the purchase? But anyway, she also stated that her sister had resided there as Evra's caregiver prior to her assuming this role. Okay, we'll look at the submissions in our next video. In the meantime, please remember to like, share, and comment, and to subscribe to this channel.